You're listening to the Geriatric Mamas podcast with Jessica Raziri
and Sonia Tapley.
Cheers! Actual in-person toast this time, not virtual.
Right.
Usually it's like to the screen, like, cheers! And pretending that I'm fulfilled, and I'm never fulfilled.
Nope.
We're finally recording together for the very first time.
Exciting.
This is crazy. I feel like I'm still looking at you in the computer screen.
I know.
I could literally be looking at you right here next to me.
I know. It's so funny. Our asses are almost touching, except for the fact that I have to sit on a pillow to be your height.
There's somebody decided to randomly start mowing the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
So...
aggressively
mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
So might hear that.
So there's actually a whole story about that. So this is the first time that the lawn has been mowed all spring. They went with like no mow May or whatever here. And so the grass was basically up to our knees. And anyway, they finally found someone to mow the lawn. And it was evident that they did not actually have a legit like lawn mowing business. Oh, fuck. He's mad.
Mad. Her Pomeranian.
Yeah, my Pomeranian is mad because he's locked in the room because he keeps barking at the lawnmowers that are making a lot of noise. But anyway, they hire this company that's not like a legit company. It's very evident because I looked out the window at one point when I had a second and I just like started busting out laughing by the way this man was riding this lawnmower. It's like one of those ones where they stand up and ride it. Like, I don't know what it's like called, but they like stand up on this riding lawnmower and it just looked ridiculous. And then like as I was leaving for the day, I heard this loud crash and I was like, don't know what that was. And I just like was like, all right, well, I guess I'll figure it out later. I knew it was outside. It wasn't inside. So I get back home and I look out the back door and our fence was like, had this big hole in the middle of it. And I was like, oh shit, I guess the new lawnmowers hit our fence.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where do they find these people?
I have no idea, but they were desperate because we were like up to our knees in grass and we were worried about ticks and bugs. And I'm sure like the rest of our neighbors were freaking out about it too because we all have dogs and stuff. I looked out at the rest of the lawn and there's like bald patches and then there's like really tall patches. And it's funny because our next door neighbors had just left on their little vacation to Georgia to go see their family. And I messaged them and I was like, hey guys, just let you know, the lawn finally got mowed.
However,
our fence is now down and our lawn looks like it has alopecia. And she's like, oh my God, my entire family is dying laughing at you right now.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. I wonder where they found those people.
I don't know.
It's probably somebody was like, oh yeah, I can do that. Like probably like a friend of a friend or something
no
was
problem.
like, not a big deal. Like I can easily do that. $200. I'll knock it out for you.
Right.
Easily. Mm-hmm. And then like they literally knocked it out.
Yeah, they sure did. I don't know how many other fences went down, but it's fine. We don't need it.
Oh my God. I can't believe I'm in May. My body clock is it's just an hour difference, but like that hour, man, it like does everything.
I was wondering how it was going because you're working and stuff too. So
yeah. And Hayden's body clock is just like, he's all sorts of confused. He's staying up late. He's waking up early. He's just, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And like I gave him nighttime, like the Zarbee's nighttime stuff before the flight. And he refused to sleep a wink. So it was like I had this like unruly, tiny, drunk human on my lap the entire flight. And like the seats didn't recline. And it was like extra small seating for some reason on American Airlines. American Airlines, you fucking suck, by the way.
Oh, no.
So it's like these really small cramped seating. And then like Hayden is like literally doing the most on my lap.
Yeah.
And it was just literally, he was like a little drunk, irrational human. He chilled for a little bit. I got him to watch Frozen. He thinks the girls are pretty. So I got him to watch Frozen and I thought he was so close to falling asleep. And then it's just, he would like wake himself up and spring back up and be like, oh, nope, I'm going to like do some more fuckery right now. And it's just like, but he slept all the way in the drive.
Good.
From the airport.
I was thinking he must have, because if he didn't sleep that whole time, I was like, he's going to pass out in the car.
Yeah, and then he didn't go to bed that night until like almost 11. He like just was like he kept getting like all these like second and third and fourth and fifth wins, and he was just like partying nonstop. And then that night he woke up at like 4 a.m. and he was just like started like squawking, and I'm like, I'm not even dealing with this right now. So I pulled him into bed with me, and I wake up at like 6 a.m. and I have like a toe in my nostril because he had like flipped over, and so his feet were in my face, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? He's like passed out. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm glad you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So needless to say, I haven't really been getting much sleep.
Yeah.
But
it's different when you're traveling, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like we're here for 4 weeks, so it's like I'm going to get adjusted to it, and then I'm going to go back to Dallas and be like all sorts of confused again. So I love that for me.
I wonder how Hayden will do with it.
He's fine. He just parties. He's just here. Like, I'm basically here just to cater to his every need.
Right.
And it's like, he just doesn't, it's whatever. He's going to run to like his own like beat.
Yeah.
Regardless of what I'm doing. Yeah. So doesn't matter.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah. But I'm super excited for Annabelle's birthday tomorrow. That's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be great. I'm so excited. I pretty much have everything done except for a few balloons. So.
Yeah.
And then we have to make the guacamole. And other than
Did you get 27 avocados?
I got 15 because I was like, this is a bit much because I don't care if everyone has guacamole.
No, not everybody needs to have guacamole.
And then there's like people who just take a little dab of guacamole and not people who eat like a whole cup of it. Like
Hayden's going to need his own little bowl of guacamole because he likes to fist it.
Yeah.
He like sticks his whole hand in it, grabs a fist of it, and shoves it in his face.
Okay, I'm going to have Annabelle sit next to him.
Because they do the same thing?
Yeah, so that she can be like, ooh, oh, that must be good.
I'm going to have him wear white, but because I was thinking like the photo to match Annabelle's dress.
Yeah.
But I might need to pack like a extra shirt.
Annabelle has
for the guacamole
3 outfits at my grandmother's for tomorrow, and I just found another one upstairs that I might put in as one of her standby outfits.
Yeah.
Because she gets so, like, she's running around the yard.
Yeah.
It's green grass.
We'll do photos first, get all the pretty pictures first, and then just let her go wild.
Yeah.
Her dress is so cute.
Thank you.
So the theme of Annabelle's birthday, I don't think we've shared the theme yet.
No, the theme is Threesta.
It's a Threesta.
It was one of Jessica's ideas, and I was like, we need it just because of all the cute colors and all the cute decorations.
You're gonna have maracas and what, Chipotle, right?
Chipotle.
Fuck yes, Chipotle. And there's a bounce house. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. Annabelle is over the moon. Like, she is like packing things. She has a hallway upstairs packed full of stuff she thinks she's bringing to her birthday party.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
When I told her we're setting up the bouncy house tonight, she was like, oh, for my party? And I'm like, yeah. And so she's like, so technically it's only today my party starts? And I was like, sure, honey, today can start your party.
I would say that's accurate.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you start setting up, that's like the first phase of it. Absolutely. I would say that that's accurate.
Her actual birthday isn't even until Thursday. Thursday. So, I mean, she's going to have another, like, we'll probably take her out to dinner and get her a cake again or something, too. So it'll be
fun.
All week.
It's a birthday month. It's a month.
It basically
It's a month Threesta.
Yeah. I can't do that.
I don't know if that's Mexican or not.
This is bringing me back to when Mike and I went to Dallas and we went out for Halloween.
And we're back. I'm just kidding. I should include like an interlude of like music of like, and this is where they're just saying a lot of inappropriate things. Have to cut all of that out.
You can play Mexican music. One long blooper. You know, in like a 10-minute blooper reel of this, like,
so funny.
Oh my god. Okay, I don't know if we're back or not, but I have to cough. So the cold that I had back in February that just never went away.
That's so annoying.
It's now turned into allergies. And I need to go buy Zicam or something. I don't know. What do you use for allergies?
I don't have allergies.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, the only allergy I have is against alcohol. So I have to take an allergy pill before I drink, which I did before I came here.
Oh, okay. Good.
I wish I thought about that for my wedding.
Oh.
Like, I didn't even think about it. Like, I didn't think that was a thing. Because I didn't know. I wasn't recognizing it as an allergy, which is dumb because obviously it's an allergy. But I wasn't associating the fact that, like, an allergy pill would probably help that. So, but luckily my dress, because usually the first place it starts showing is on my chest. But my dress was high and I had so much makeup on. So you couldn't see the like inflamed.
Right.
And then it was dark by the time that I really was inflamed. So it was fine. It was funny because Kate got me my something blue, is blue champagne, which was like really smart. And I went to take a drink of it and Courtney goes, don't drink too much of that.
Yeah.
Because
not yet.
of my highs. She's like, let's just wait. Let's just not take a lot of that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, good call.
That's a really good call.
Just a sip. Just do a sip.
As the rest of your like bridesmaids are all just like tossing back.
Well, what's funny is I wasn't even thinking about that.
I'm like about to shove a tomato in my mouth.
So, okay, we need to talk about this for a second. Last episode,
oh god,
Drunka was out. I don't know if you guys noticed, but
they noticed.
Was out.
Drunka was slurring most of her words. They probably thought
Dr. Drunka.
Yeah, Dr. Drunka
was alert. She was fired up. And Dr. Drunka apparently had like a glass of champs and a half before he even started recording.
Which was enough.
And then proceeded to drink almost a whole bottle of champs. It was like the entire
3/4
recording
of bottle because I was done with my water. I didn't want water.
She's telling me these clips to pull for socials, and on one of the clips, she's tossing back champs, and she's like, "Nope, not using that one." And then in this, she's like, "What about this clip?" And I start dying laughing as I'm pulling it because she's eating. What were you eating? Cheez-Its?
Yeah, I was eating Cheez-Its.
She's eating Cheez-Its, and she's not just eating Cheez-Its like a casual Cheez-It. It's like a cow chewing its cud, and just like the jaw movement, and then she's like fisting it in her mouth, like full on open hand fist, stuffing it in her face. I'm crying laughing as I'm pulling this fucking clip, and I'm like, she's gonna be mortified when she sees this. This is hilarious. So she literally takes one look at it. She's like, nope, not using it. We're just gonna showcase the audio. Fuck this.
Yep.
So
we had no video for the last 3 weeks, and last week it was purely my fault.
So good. So funny.
I just love it so much.
And then you went off on a education about diabetes.
I went.
She went on a long Dr. Drunka rant about diabetes, educating us on the insulin and how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I really should just have my own like Dr. Oz show, but it could just be called Dr. Drunka, and whoever wants.
I would watch that. I would absolutely
you sure
watch
would.
that.
You're like my number one supporter when I come into Drunka.
Because it's amazing.
You're like, wait, tell me more.
She's so fun. What are you talking about?
You're like, wait, tell me more. If I lower my insulin levels,
what else?
If I lower my insulin levels, you mean I can burn fat faster? Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Okay, but listen, guess what? My dad has Ozempic.
What?
Yes, it's in the fridge. But he is diabetic and he uses it for its actual purposes, so I can't steal it. I told him last night, I was like, if your life didn't depend on that, I would steal it.
Yeah.
And he just like stared at me like, what is your problem? Because of course he's diabetic. He doesn't want to be fucking giving himself a shot every day if he didn't have to. Right. And here I am like drooling over this stuff. Like, I need it. Like a fucking fiend, like a zombie. Like,
just a little bit.
Just give it to me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So it's like every time I like reach for like the cheese or like chocolate and I just see his drawer full of Ozempic and I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah. Why is it so hard to like get it?
I don't know. I asked my doctor, I was like, Dr. Wu, that's his name. You're really like, do we need a cut so you can eat? We need to move that to the kitchen. Yeah. We have snacks here. And she's just like, she keeps going to reach for it. I can't keep my hands
off of it. I'm like going and I'll dip it and I'll dip my carrot.
See, the thing is we can't mute when one of us is talking because then you're going to mute the person who's talking because we're on the same computer.
So, I mean, I really actually just don't want to eat it on camera because I saw myself shoving.
So Sonia can eat and then we're going to come back. So Sonia, how was that carrot? Was it everything that you were like hoping for and more?
It was so worth pausing for. It was.
So back to my Wu story.
Yes.
My doctor's name is Dr. Wu. And I was like, Wu, I think I need to go on Ozempic. And he's like, but you don't have diabetes. And I was like, well, no, but I am large and I need Ozempic. And he was just like, oh, you could just eat better, work out. And I was like, whoa, we both know that's not going to happen. So like, I feel like I should just get
what
Ozempic.
everyone else is doing.
And he didn't go for it. So I need to think of like a different.
Okay.
I wasn't really prepared for that conversation. So I think I need to like think of another reason why I can't work out and why I can't eat healthy. It was actually a thing, I think, at one point. I don't know if it's still an issue, but like all like celebrities and everything were like taking it and they're like, you're using all the supply of Ozempic. People who actually need it, diabetics, aren't going to have it. Like it was like an actual thing. Yeah. I think they maybe just started making more of it. Maybe. I don't know. I think that's enough chit chat. I should probably get into it. Put on my glasses because I'm geriatric.
Yes.
So on our very first recording together, we have a HOPEisode. And just for people who are just tuning in that aren't quite familiar with what a HOPEisode is a story about a woman's journey to motherhood. So whatever the means are, it could be through IVF, it could be through surrogacy, adoption, egg donation. Basically, it's like she struggled. Odds were against her. She was told to no. She kept seeing that negative on the pee stick. And all of a sudden, she was graced with her miracle baby and she got her rainbow and her happy ending. Both Sonia and I struggled. And one of the things that really helped us with keep pushing forward were these stories. It's like I was searching for stories of women who were really going through it and really struggling. And then when they finally got their miracle baby, it gave me hope. It made me think like, well, if she went through all of this, I'm not alone. I can do it too. I didn't want to hear about the woman who just friggin' let him stick it in her and then all of a sudden she's knocked up, oh, whoops, we weren't even trying. Like, fuck right off. Like, that was not helpful. That did not make me feel good. That's not what I was needing in those moments. I needed to hear that I wasn't alone. It was normal and that I could too also have my happy ending. And so that's what we wanted to do. This is why we started the podcast. And so we thought it would be good to every so often have HOPEisodes where we share your story and you write into us and others can hear it. And, you went through it. Let's make it be for a reason. These stories help people. So that's what these are. So today we are going to be reading Jennifer's story. Do you want to tell us about Jennifer?
Yes. Jennifer wrote into us a couple of weeks ago, actually. She is an avid listener, I found out from our conversation. She knew so much about the podcast. I love that
she's an avid listener.
I know.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Really nice.
We need more of you.
Yeah. Because, when we started off our conversation, she didn't just immediately say she was a listener, so I wasn't sure. Because at first, when we started doing HOPEisodes, people didn't really know the podcast that well.
Yeah.
So this was the first time, and I would, bring up little scenarios that we had spoken about before. And she would basically be able to continue that conversation because she had listened to the episodes. So it was really fun talking to her and knowing that there's someone out there listening.
So what is that? 6 listeners now?
Yes, we have 6. So I'm going to read Jennifer's story. My husband and I started trying to conceive when I was 34. We got married at 31, but he wasn't ready to start trying yet. After about 8 months of trying naturally with tracking and all the usual stuff, I had some blood work done because I was having lots of spotting after ovulation. They found out that I had diminished ovarian reserve, high FSH, low AMH. My reproductive endocrinologist was horrible. He said at my first appointment that many couples are happy with donor eggs.
Dick.
I know. Seriously, I'm did I read that right?
I would like to understand what he means by many couples.
So basically you're telling all of your couples that they should just go get a donor egg because their ovaries are useless? Cool. All right. So anyways, moving on. We were reeling and trying to figure out what to do next, as we didn't have fertility coverage with our insurance. I got pregnant naturally soon after and had our son when I was 35. We tried for another baby when my son was 18 months old, but I knew it would be difficult. I couldn't get pregnant, and we went through a tough few years of grief and sadness. I was deemed a bad IVF candidate, so I didn't attempt it. By 38, my periods were becoming irregular and I was having some perimenopause symptoms. Sexy menopause.
Sexy menopause symptoms.
So I started hormone replacement therapy with estrogen and progesterone for that. It helped, but I was still sad about not being able to give my son a sibling. We gave up on the idea of having another child, and then fast forward to 2017, I was 41 and our son was now 6 years old and in kindergarten. We had just moved and I was looking for a new job. I wasn't feeling well and I noticed some weird GI symptoms. My periods were still irregular, so I don't know why I thought of getting a pregnancy test, but I did, and I was pregnant. I was 9 weeks along before I connected the dots and took a test.
Wait, so she went to a fertility doctor, basically was told her very first appointment, which is so premature that you need donor eggs, wasn't a good candidate for IVF, so gave up on it, and now all of a sudden, just out of the blue.
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome.
I know. It's so crazy. Our daughter was born in 2018, just 3 weeks after I turned 42. I had a great pregnancy. I worked out until 30 weeks and had no pregnancy complications. While I wish she would have joined our family sooner, I am so grateful we have our daughter and both of our children. I was very tempted to send my old reproductive endocrinologist birth announcements.
Oh my gosh, you should have. Fuck yes. Yeah. I love that shit. I am the most passive aggressive. That is my style completely. Oh my God. That's amazing. Yeah. Yes.
She really should have.
She should have.
I mean,
I know. I actually thought of sending my the shitty ass fertility clinic birth, a Christmas card with Hayden on it. But I was like, no.
No, you should have. That would have been great.
I know. Assholes.
She said she restrained herself.
Wait, she's like, since he assumed my eggs were garbage.
Yeah. And she had heard the story, Nicole's story, where they said her eggs were moldy. So she brought that up in our conversation, which I thought was great. So she said, I wish the medical world didn't treat older pregnant women like ticking time bombs. I found it greatly increased my anxiety throughout my pregnancies.
Oh my God. Congratulations, Jennifer.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Those are the type of stories that I literally clung to.
Yeah.
It's like, first of all, what an asshole doctor. Right. I'm so sorry that they put you through that. And what's really fucked up, she brings up a good point, that shit just added to her anxiety. What does anxiety and stress do?
Right.
It literally hinders fertility.
Yeah.
So that wasn't helpful.
Right.
And maybe had she had more of an uplifting, positive experience, she would have been in a better mindset. Yeah. And maybe it would have happened sooner. Doesn't matter. She got her miracle. That's all that matters. Right. But I hate that she had to. Yeah. How to deal with that.
The added stress.
It's not helpful at all.
It can actually, it can really put a pregnancy at risk, and it can put other things at risk.
That is so awesome. How exciting. That is so cool.
Yeah. I asked her what advice she has for moms who are currently on their fertility journey without their miracle babies. And she said to advocate for yourself and seek the opinion of multiple doctors before giving up. Which I feel like is one of the things that also led you and I to start this podcast. Yeah. Not only did we advocate for ourselves and basically you ended up seeking the opinion of multiple doctors over time, but also through advocating for ourselves, we basically Googled everything under the sun, and we were able to put pieces of information together, and we listened to podcasts, we watched YouTube, and we educated ourselves so that we would know how to advocate for ourselves, which she was very much one of those people. When I was talking to her, she basically did a lot of the same kind of stuff that we did.
Well, it's also really overwhelming because especially when you're new to the whole world of fertility, you're just starting your journey, they're throwing all of these big words at you, and it's you all already have the overwhelming sense of emotions coming over you of the fact nobody wants to be there. Yeah. Nobody wants to be sitting in that fucking clinic. Right. And so you already have the anxiety of that. And then you have you have to be paying attention and you have to be retaining all these big words and understanding what they mean. And then you have the price factor there as well. Can I even afford this? Right. And so it's understanding, you have to do your own research because you have to understand the types of questions to ask. I started having a notebook of questions anytime I would think of a question, and I would write things down. And it's well, I want to question, not that you're questioning your doctor. Part of it too is just seeking to understand. Like, you should know the why. You should know what you're putting in your body. And if you feel like something doesn't sound right, like in my case, I'm like, I feel like if I lost weight, like this would help. Oh no, that's not going to matter. I don't think that's right. And guess what? It did help, you know? And so it's like, well, I think acupuncture would help. And the other doctor's like, no. And it's like, no, I think it actually will. It's like, only you know, like everybody's body is different and only you know what's going to be good for your body. And if your gut is telling you something and you're just like, this doesn't feel right, listen to your gut and get a second opinion and seek. And also, maybe like the facts are the facts, right? But if you don't feel comfortable and it's like a personality clash as well, because like, you know, I'm sitting here trashing the first fertility doctor. I don't think it was a fit for me. I don't think we were a good personality match. And maybe she is a really good fertility doctor. I wouldn't know, you know, wasn't for me. But I think a lot of it too is like the energy, the vibe, the personality. Ku isn't the one that got us Hayden, but I am recommending the shit out of him because of his personality. He lifted us up. He made us feel good. He gave us hope. And like, that's what you need. You need somebody. So it's like, you need to trust them. You need to feel safe with them. You need to feel excited about them and absolutely advocate for yourself. That is excellent advice, Jennifer, for sure. 1000%.
And I think too, and I know this is just like our personal thing and our personal opinion, but what really worked for us was going the integrated medicine way. Holistic plus medicine, because then we're not letting anything slip through the cracks.
They work together.
Right. And I feel like when I was going solely into the medical side of things with, you know, my fertility doctor, and then like I would have fallen through the cracks. Like I had that nagging feeling. So I went and I got acupuncture, and my acupuncture doctor was able to give me the holistic side of things. So I really felt a lot more comfortable knowing that I was getting as much information as I could and doing everything that I possibly could. And I just feel like when you're doing that, that just also is another form of advocating for yourself. But I love that she put that as her answer.
Absolutely. So if any of you new mamas or aspiring mamas have a fertility journey that you would like to send in for us to read, please go to geriatricmamas.com and click share your story. And I understand that like it's a HOPEisode and it's about like a happy ending, but you know, we would still love to hear your story about what you're going through. Like if you're struggling to get pregnant right now, and you've been going through a bunch of stuff, like that is still helpful for somebody to hear. Your rainbow is around the corner. Don't feel like you can't share, or slide into our DMs, as the kids say. Do they still say that? I don't know.
I feel like maybe.
Okay. We'll cut that. I'm just kidding.
Our geriatricness is showing.
So the next thing, which is really goes in perfectly with what with Jennifer's story. So why so many accidental pregnancies happen in women's 40s by Rachel Gross of the Financial Review. And this is from AFR.com. After she turned 42, Tisha Carr thought she was done having kids. 6 in her mind was perfect. Yeah, holy shit.
That's like, is that a basketball
like a
team?
Fucking school bus.
Right.
Like, my God. Fuck the minivan. Give me a freaking school bus. And besides, she was pretty sure she had started sexy menopause. For the past 6 months, she had all the same signs as her friends: hot flashes, mood swings, tender breasts. She and her husband decided they could probably safely do away with contraception. But less than a month later, Carr felt a familiar twinge of pain in her ovary. Oh, that feeling. The same twinge she felt every time she'd been pregnant before. Carr felt embarrassed. Teenagers accidentally get pregnant. 42-year-old women don't usually accidentally get pregnant, she told me. But really, 42-year-old women accidentally getting pregnant is surprisingly common. Nearly 4% of all new babies are born to women 40 and older. The latest data from the National Center of Health Statistics shows. As many as 75% of pregnancies in this age range are unplanned. It's a frequent enough occurrence that plots of Downton Abbey, Sex Education, and Just Like That, Grey's Anatomy, and Blackish have depended on it. Many women still believe that by their 40s, unintended pregnancies just isn't something they have to worry about. After all, many of us are told our whole lives that our biological clock is ticking, that our fertility plummets after 35, and that if we wait too long, we'll likely need some form of reproductive technology to get pregnant, if we can get pregnant at all. If conceiving at this age is so hard, surely you wouldn't get pregnant by accident, right? Perimenopause, aka sexy menopause. To understand why pregnancy can and does happen at this age, it helps to consider the wacky in-between land that is sexy menopause. This stage, which can last anywhere from a few months to about 8 years, is typically assumed to be a smooth transition into menopause. In reality, it's more like the hormonal chaos of puberty when the ovaries first sputter to life, wreaking all sorts of bodily havoc as they try to find out their new groove. In sexy menopause, the ovaries are once again trying to adapt to a new normal. Only now they're in overdrive, sending out scattered spurts of estrogen to recruit a much scarcer pool of eggs to release during ovulation. During this time, you might ovulate twice in one cycle, miss a cycle altogether, or experience unpredictable flash periods. Those ovaries are kind of going nuts. You think? Says Robin Noble, a gynecologist and menopause specialist in Maine, told me. Oh, in Maine.
Yeah.
Did you know this article was from it? You're the one that found it.
I did.
So
I read it. Yeah, but
this is clearly my first read through. I'm doing a cold read here. Bear with me. That can have all sorts of weird consequences. For one, extreme hormone spikes can stimulate the ovary to release extra eggs, which is one reason why fraternal twins are more common in older pregnancies. If your ovaries are still ovulating, however sporadically, then you can still get pregnant. The likelihood of getting pregnant does decline with age, particularly towards the tail end of your 30s. By 40, the American Society of Reproductive Medicine says the chances of getting pregnant during a single menstrual cycle is less than 5%. The problem starts when these low odds lead women to use less reliable contraception, such as the rhythm method or withdrawal. What is that, like the pull it out?
Yeah.
It's a thing. Just pull it out and shoot it anywhere method. Those methods become even riskier during sexy menopause, and the odds can stack up. Oh my God. Yeah. Did you hear that Monica from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City got pregnant? She's what, 39 or something, 38 or 39. And she was like, I already didn't like her. And I just want to like smack her when she said this. She's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean I'm pregnant? I'm 39 or however old the fuck she is. And I'm just like, first of all, bitch.
Did she take herself off birth control because she's 39?
I think so.
Oh my God.
She was just like, how am I pregnant? I'm 39. What are you talking about? But this part is sad regardless of how I feel about her. She ended up losing the baby, which is really heartbreaking. But it was that initial like, what do you mean? I'm 39. I'm like, God, like, I'm like, shut up, first of all. Like, that's not old. Fuck right off.
No, that's actually.
But yeah, so it's a thing. It happens. And now it says Sonia reads. You're Sonia. It's not me anymore. Here I am.
So
this is really hard not able to like mute myself. I have to literally control my shit while you're reading.
She can't like let out her loud belches, or
I have to keep my bodily functions to myself. And by the way, it is really fucking hot in here.
I can't open up the windows because I'm worried like someone will walk by and like talk or whatever. So this is why last year when we first started recording, I always had that fan going in the background.
Yeah.
But then it was like messing with
really
our
loud
sound. So we
But I'm just saying, I don't know that you're really in sexy menopause. I really do believe that it's just fucking hot in here.
Okay, maybe. So I'm going to read Trudy Perrow's journey to geriatric mamahood from torontolife.com. So Trudy says, I always knew I was going to have kids, but I thought everything had to be perfectly in place first. During my 20s, I studied psychology at Western and eventually worked as a therapist in the UK. By my mid-30s, I was back in Toronto and ready to settle down. But where was the guy? I'd had a serious relationship in university, then dated here and there, but nothing long term. When I was 36, I was diagnosed with grade 1, stage 1, synchronous ovarian and uterine cancer.
Oh my God.
I know. Which means it appeared in my ovary and uterus at the same time. That kind of cancer has a better prognosis than when one spreads to the other, but I needed a total abdominal hysterectomy. They were going to take everything. Even the layer of the fat that ran along my tummy, the only upside. I would never be able to give birth to a child.
Oh my God.
I know. I got the news on February 15th of 2008. The next day, I was in the oncologist's office and booking my surgery for 2 weeks later. I was devastated. It sounds awful, but I didn't care if the cancer was going to kill me. If I couldn't have kids, I thought, I'd rather die.
Oh my God. I just want to give her a hug.
I know. Later that day, I called a bunch of fertility clinics, scrambling to figure out if I had any options. I was able to book an appointment at the Create Clinic on Bay Street for the next morning. I explained I was getting the kit and caboodle out in 13 days and wanted to freeze as many eggs as possible. The fertility doctor told me that the egg harvesting process takes 10 to 12 days and must begin on day 3 of a menstrual cycle. She did a blood test, and unbelievably, I was on day 3. It seemed like a miracle. If I began treatment that very day, we could potentially harvest some eggs right before my hysterectomy. I'd have only one shot, and I had to decide within a matter of hours. I spent the rest of the afternoon talking it over with my mom, but really, my mind was made up. I was going to do whatever I could.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
I know.
I'm making a face, but I got Botox, so I'm kind of frozen in time right now. But I am, like, devastated.
I know.
It just doesn't look like that.
I know. I was going to do whatever I could to have a baby. It was hard for my family. All they wanted for me was to survive. But they supported my decision. I knew that I wanted to wake up from that hysterectomy with the chance of having a biological child. I spent the next 12 days preparing for the hormone injections necessary to extract my eggs. I was dealing with terrible anxiety about my upcoming surgery and not knowing how far the cancer had spread. At the same time, I had to start thinking about sperm. Embryos are harder and easier to thaw than eggs that haven't been fertilized, and the transfer success rate is higher. The nurses walked me through the process. They helped me pick a donor who had similar coloring to me, so I'd have a greater chance of making a baby who looked like me. He was university educated and had a clean medical history. When I went in for my life-saving hysterectomy, I knew I would have 5 frozen embryos ready and waiting. The surgery went well, and 3 weeks later, the pathology reports were clear. No further treatment was required. About 6 months after that, I was back at work and dealing with the hot flashes and night sweats that came with medically induced menopause. Then I received more bad news. My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, which is relatively slow to metastasize, but ultimately incurable. It made me determined that my mom would meet her grandchild. Surrogacy in Canada is complicated and expensive. You can't legally pay someone to carry your child, but you can agree to cover their bills and expenses. I even know a woman who found a surrogate in Kijiji. I went through an agency and connected with a woman from my own town. She already had 2 of her own kids and had been a surrogate before. That eased my mind. It ended up being a good thing that she lived a few hours away. Otherwise, I'd have been tempted to drive by her house every night to check up on her. It's hard to relinquish control over something so important. Between the legal, medical, and agency fees, the surrogate's cost ended up running me about $70,000.
Holy shit.
I know. My daughter, Liv, was supposed to be born. I'm going to cry again. My daughter, Liv, was supposed to be born via C-section on Tuesday in March 2012. The surrogate called me on Sunday. Why am I crying? The surrogate called me on Sunday before to say her water had broken. My brother drove me to the hospital in record time. When I charged into the maternity ward, I saw a group of nurses cooing over a baby at their station. One of them asked, "Is your name Trudy?" The surrogate had told them to bring my baby out and wait for me to arrive.
I'm like flat out crying.
I know.
My face isn't moving.
I know. I need to go get that done.
I'm literally frozen in time here, and I just have tears running down, and it looks like I'm just like a narcissist crying, like trying to pretend to cry, but
I know. All I could say over and over was, "Are you sure? Are you sure she's mine?" I knew that once I held her, I could never let her go. And when I looked down at her for the first time, all I could think was, she looks just like me. I was able to get a room right next door to the surrogate, and my parents met us at the hospital. I was thrilled to see my mom hold her granddaughter, and she's been helping me raise her ever since. Liv is a wonderful kid. healthy and happy. Her energy is nonstop, which keeps me very busy. I'm working as a rehabilitation consultant for an insurance company. Being a single mom is overwhelming sometimes, but my family helps me cope. So now the question is, what do I do with the remaining embryos? They're frozen in time. I pay a fee every year to keep them in storage, and who knows, maybe one day I'll have a surrogate carry another child, but that would just be a bonus. I've already got the baby I wanted so badly.
Oh my God.
I know.
Holy shit.
I was crying when I was reading it. Like,
that is such a good article. Wow.
So this was by torontolife.com.
Wow. What an amazing story. So, like, is her mom...
I think her mom is still here because this was a fairly recent article, and her baby was, or she conceived, I think, in 2012, the surrogate. So, yes, I think her mom is doing okay.
What a just, like, an overall, like, scary, nerve-wracking time, and it's just like being hit with one thing after the other like that, and then like just having that like oh my God.
And now she has her happy ending. She has her mom still there to help with the baby. It's just amazing. Yeah,
I'm sure that, not to bring up anything, but I'm sure that probably hit you hard because of that, you know, too.
Yeah.
So now that you're all crying,
I know.
you need to go
glad we
redo your makeup.
I know.
Probably on your way to work. And
I'm glad for everyone's sake that we got through that.
Yeah. Good find. What a beautiful story.
So we hope you enjoyed today's HOPEisode. Reminder, you get 20% off services at Aegis Medical Aesthetics in Westbrook, Maine with the code Mamas 2024. You just need to follow them on Instagram, and a free first swim class at Goldfish Swim in Portland, Maine with the same code Mamas 2024. You just have to give them a call to schedule your class.
I just laugh at that every time. Mamas 2024.
Yeah. Call them.
Say nothing else, just that. That's it. Well, thank you for listening. Be sure to tune in next week. I will still be here in Maine. Follow, subscribe, rate, and review. Tell a friend. We need everyone's support.
All of your support, please.
All of your support.
Please tell a friend.
Tell your friends if you have any. If you don't have any, go get some.
You know what we should do next time when we do this part? We should get Annabelle's guitar out since you're here.
Oh, yeah.
And like I'll have her microphone, and or like you can have the microphone.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, and we can
tell a friend. It'll be like Phoebe's like smelly cat.
Yes,
smelly cat. It's like tell a friend, tell a friend.
We're on to something here.
We are.
It's like technically Annabelle sings like that when she sings, so we can totally just mimic her.
Calling her Phoebe.
Yeah.
So good.
So if you're watching the video, you'll see my cat trying to ruin my window. Anyway,
her giant pussy. I'm sick and tired of your giant pussy in my face. I can't handle it. It's so obnoxious,
I'll make sure
Sonia.
He's out for next week as well.
God.
I won't lock him up for you next week. We'll feed him more cheese.
Oh, perfect. I love your giant pussy in my face just freshly after eating a bunch of cheese.
So for more info, you can check out our website.
Definitely want some more info after that.
At geriatricmamas.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at geriatric_mamas, on YouTube at Geriatric Mamas, on TikTok
TikTok
at geriatric_mamas, Twitter at Geriatric Mamas, and follow our group page on Facebook, Geriatric Mamas.
If you have a topic idea you'd like us to discuss, are interested in being a guest, or simply have a funny geriatric story to tell, you can go to geriatricmamas.com and hit be a guest or send us your story.
I feel like we need to high five now, or like
high five,
chest bump, or like
boom. Elbow pump.
Ooh. Elbows. Oh, I missed it.
That was a COVID handshake.
Oh my God, I love it. Annabelle does that, but we
let's
didn't know
do
that.
Like for real.
Another cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Bye-bye. We're gonna go get drunk now.
Yeah.
Hot in here. Why is it so hot in here?
I know, our ice cube.
You're not hot flashing. It's fucking hot in here.
I don't know why I'm not. Well, I'm on my period. That's why I'm not.
No, but I'm telling you, it's hot in here.
Oh.
So, like, you're sitting here like, it's sexy menopause. I literally think it's just fucking hot in here.
Well, right now it is. Yes. The
Okay.
heat's not on, though.
My tits are going to be out by the end of this episode.
Not just your ankles.
Not just my ankles, my tits. It's really hot in here.
It doesn't feel like it right now to me.
You're like, I'm literally going to be naked by the end of this episode.
So I feel like I usually have the most hot flashes. Like,
like I have sweat between my boobs right now.
What phase of your cycle are you in right now? Are you
blowing on my boobs?
Ovulatory phase, or are you in your?
I don't know.
Where
I don't
are
keep
you?
track. I know I should. I don't. We did a whole episode on it, and I just. I'm sorry, but your giant pussy is out of control.
That kind of cancer.
Where's the giant pussy?
He's like, hey, Mom. Oh. I can feel you looking over here. Hey, go.
It's so hot in here.
Dude, you cannot.
Oh my God. Literally open a window. I'm going to die. You have to open a window. I don't care. If somebody walks by, they can be in the fucking podcast. I literally can't.
Welcome to the show.
Oh.
You're sitting on a wool
Feels
pillow.
so good.
My throne is made of wool over here.